This healing journey called me. I didn't call it. The reason why I am on this healing journey is, because I'm really trying to figure out my why, how I got here, who I am. I'm looking as deep as my DNA. I'm trying to look at the cells. I'm trying to look at the microorganisms, okay, of what makes up Lachelle. And food is a huge part of that. It's the vehicle by which I arrived to this healing journey. I want to impact people through food, but it's like that saying when you're on an airplane, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help anyone else. And that's why. I am Chef Lachelle Cunningham. Do not capitalize the C.
That's a good note.
People love to capitalize it for some reason. When I was a child, I used to play, and the way I played is the things I do now. So I used to play like I was making salads on the front step. I used to pretend I was a teacher. I used to pretend I ran a business, and now I'm doing it for real. I have a few different hats that I wear. Mainly, I run my company, Healthy Roots Institute, where we teach cooking classes, culinary arts, as well as food business education. I also run a local urban farm called Frogtown Farm in St. Paul, as well as a commercial kitchen called City Food Studio in South Minneapolis on 38th in Chicago, also known as George Floyd Square. I've really been reflecting on what I want my practice to be when it comes to healing. What is my daily practice, my weekly practice, monthly, yearly, and so on. Greens have so many healing properties. They provide a lot of mineral content. They kind of get things moving, if you know what I'm saying. I am making one of my favorite comfort soul food meals. Black-eyed peas, collard greens, and cornbread. In Black households across America, we have a tradition to make collard greens and black-eyed peas on New Year's. It's supposed to represent prosperity. The black-eyed peas being the coins and the greens kind of representing the money or the dollars, and stewing those and consuming those is part of the ritual. When it comes to my healing journey, I'm focusing on 3 things. One is who I am through my ancestry down to my DNA. Second is about healing my mind, body, and spirit, doing some yoga or some meditation. And third is my food, my gut health, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, and how is that food medicine for my body. So my ancestors being enslaved, somehow they figured out that they should store seeds on their body. They would braid them into their hair. Not only did my ancestors bring over the seeds, they brought over their food ways, they brought over their knowledge, they brought over their ingenuity of how to make these humble peas into something magnificent. You know, we're layering in our flavors so that when everything goes into the pot, the flavor is just gonna be delicious. If I just threw all these vegetables in the pot and just boiled it, it would be good. I could season it to taste and make it taste good. But the development of cooking down the onions first, then adding the celery and kind of layering in the flavors and letting them develop is really important. It's as much about the ingredients as it is about the story, as it is about the process of getting them on that plate. I add the garlic last because garlic has a lot of sugar in it and it will burn. My ancestors were trying to coax out nutrition out of their meals. One of the things that they did was make potlikker, or potlikker, as the ancestors called it. Potlikker Potlikker is a broth. It is the broth that's created at the bottom of the pot when you make greens or beans or black-eyed peas or any of those things. It is nutrient dense. It is full of flavor. It's easy on the stomach. My ancestors, they would often have the babies, elders as well, eating it with cornbread. It's a drink, it's a beverage, it's a soup, it's a broth, it's life-giving. Just goodness. That potlikker is so delicious. It's so nutritious, and it's just so full of healing. The creaminess of the black-eyed peas is like a really great, comforting texture. Tastes like a grandmother's warm embrace. I mean, what else do you need? How my food is grown is really important to me. That's why I like to go to my local co-op or farmer's market. A lot of times the food is going to be organic and I'm going to know exactly who grew it, who raised the animals. I mean, I can barely decide because the greens are just popping. I think traditions really matter because when I think about traditions, I think about legacy. I think I'm going to grab a little bit of collard greens, being a conduit of those traditions so we can learn from the past. We can learn good and bad things from the past. And I think that gives us insight and wisdom that's really important. Having them be a little bit more flimsy isn't necessarily bad. My mom always taught me that the best greens come after the first frost, and it kind of wilts the leaves a little bit and they cook down a little bit better as well. I love to incorporate other greens. I love throwing in dandelion. Lately, I've been doing a lot with bok choy. These ones look like some little bugs ate, which is good. If bugs thought it was good, then, Oh, they got the chili lime roasted seaweed snacks. I can't not grab those. Wow, what a lovely blessing. Hello.
My.
Last time I saw you, we were at Farm Aid.
That's right. What you doing in here?
I'm about to get some vittles and cook up some stuff with some friends.
What you cooking?
Well, it's all about the potlikker. It's all about the potlikker.
Right.
So we're going to be making a hot pot with
Okay.
some veggies, some greens, some sweet potatoes.
Where are you doing it? You doing
At
it
my
up
kitchen.
the street?
Yep,
Okay,
at my
fantastic.
kitchen. Yeah.
You are our
Okay.
celebrity chef. I mean, really.
I'm inspired every day by my community, by people around me, by so many other leaders in my local community. For real, for real.
My love to your mother and father.
Absolutely. Thank you. If I really want to have great impact and change, then I need to share and pass that on and be that conduit to the next generation.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
There's something healing about that. There's something calming about that.
What are you making with the lion's mane?
I'm going to smoke those with greens and sweet potatoes.
I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, but
I'm going to
good.
cook them down so they'll have a nice meaty texture.
Oh, nice.
One of my favorite things out of all the things I do is just to get in the kitchen and cook with people. I've been craving hot pot, and I was like, how can I make this hot pot myself? Yeah. But soulful with a little razzle dazzle, as I like to say. My students, honestly, are big inspirations to me. Drez, I need you to slice our onions. Kojo, I'm gonna have you pick a few leaves of each type of green and just slice them really thin. We're taking this delicious chicken stock that Cheka put together, which is actually the base of our potlikker for this dish. So let's go. My favorite thing to cook is anything that makes a person change their mind about an ingredient. I brought some prickly ash, which is kind of like a local Szechuan. And then I got some fire cider. So this is gonna give it some heat.
Nice.
I have a vision that we can impact people through food right in George Floyd Square.
How much garlic you want?
Maybe like a whole head. There's no garlic haters.
Nope.
People don't think about healing when they think about being an entrepreneur. They don't think about that as a potential healing of yourself.
You're a chef.
And that's what we do at Healthy Roots Institute. We teach people how to cook.
Why do you do the avocado oil instead of like Evu?
I only use extra virgin olive oil for raw applications like salad dressings, finishing oil at the end of a dish. I like to use avocado oil for cooking, like high heat, sauteing, just as a higher heat oil so it doesn't smoke. We help aspiring professional chefs or chefs that want to hone their craft. And then we also help food businesses really develop. Pour them right on top of there. There's like all of that back of the house nuts and bolts. We're gonna bring the broth right here. All the aromatics smell so good. I got distracted. What was I talking about? But at the end of the day, it's all healing, right? Oh yeah, yummy. And now we can empower ourselves economically, and we can impact our families, we can impact our communities, and we can impact the world. And that's healing. All right, you all ready to try this stuff?
Yes.
Food is healing on so many levels. Look at this.
Take a little scoop of that.
When we sit down at a table, we can talk at a different level than when that food isn't there for some reason. I don't know what the food is doing, but it's kind of like an equalizer. Yeah. There's a piece of fellowship in there. And I think that's actually where the healing is most potent.
I think that fireside vinegar did give it that lime flavor I was looking for.
You see, every time I'm just gonna show you how you just gotta trust me. When I became a chef, I said I wanna impact people through food. And now I feel like on this healing journey, I'm really learning what I really meant by that. Because I thought it was, I'm gonna feed people, they're gonna love my food so much, it's gonna impact them. You know, all these different levels, nutritionally, it's emotional, it can be spiritual, ceremonial. But what I'm really excited about when it comes to impacting people is that people will feel empowered to heal themselves. That's why I continue to do this work every day.